been advising us at Juma about security, development, infrastructure for the past 2 years, so I'm very thankful. Thanks so much for being part of our community. Is there anyone who hasn't heard about language server protocols? You haven't, okay. I haven't heard about it until a few days ago, but hopefully today we're gonna learn more about them and how to set up them in open code and Claude Code. And I can't wait to hear this. So good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jaska. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yep. Oh, perfect. So thanks for organizers. I see more and more people every time. Very good advertising. Kalyan as well. Today I will be short because I try to make it a light talk and mostly plant the seeds of some ideas how you can optimize your context and actually help your harnesses, because Claude Code and Open Code are just another harness incarnation. So without further ado, my name is Jordan Ilchev. Yeah. For whoever, I have a slide with my LinkedIn if you want to follow later and connect. And I pretty much on every meetup when I can come here, so we can meet and talk more later. So. First, why those tools that I will talk about are important and in which kind of project you may need those and such tools. Usually nowadays most of the projects we talk and make with AI are Greenfield projects. So they are made from day one with AI. They follow the best practices, the latest frameworks, and etc. And it's very easy for models and harnesses to navigate in such applications. But there is another kind of projects that are usually called brownfield, some call them blackfield, but there's another story, but some nuances in the brown. And those are projects that are legacy built over years, and companies really struggle to implement AI and get the best of it in such projects. And I see it in person, even in my old projects, AI simply cannot comprehend and try to imagine things and hallucinate a lot. They have a lot of technical depth, a lot of code is different, written by different developers, no coding guidelines, no specification, etc. So in such projects, people get mixed experience, and we can do better by helping our harnesses with the right tools. And today we'll spoke about 3 tools, and I have one bonus tool for homework for you to check on your own. So first tool is a language service protocol. I bet nobody heard about it, or few people actually heard about it, but everyone that was developing anything in the ED, IDE or editor, a coding editor, is using it every day. When you hover on a function or a method or a class, you get this nice pop-up that tell you what this method is doing. If you go to the definition of that method, you can go to the definition, like you have a submenu, context menu, and you hit go to definition. And if you go to the definition, you can say, okay, give me all the references this function or variable or property or method is called. And the magic happens under the hood by those language servers that use that language server protocol. It was invented in Visual Studio Code, but Microsoft make it public and open source. So pretty much all the Java one made by JetBrains, like there is a lot of servers on this address. You can see a lot of implementation for your particular language. Pretty much any language out there, modern language, has a built-in server. TypeScript has it, everyone. So as it is played, and it's another thing is like the third one is thing that when you change something, you see how your gutter, the thing that is on the scroller, kind of lights in red. If you change a variable name, and it shows you right away without compiling the code where this variable crashes, no more defined. For example, if you change the name and you didn't change it with refactoring, it will highlight all the places that this variable is no longer defined. So this thing is happening by diagnostics in such servers. So they give very fast loop for such errors like typos, etc. So how we can use this with LLMs? So basically, this will give our LLMs, when you set up a such server for your code base, it will give the semantic understanding, and it also will be deterministic, give deterministic capabilities, something that models usually lack. So your model will know exactly what changes it needs to make, for example, to refactor a function or extract something as a separate method. So it's give more predictable and correct results and reduce greatly the hallucinations. It's also more token efficient because model no longer needs to read the file, convert it to token, send it to a server, and then process and to understand that file. It can use the server to just give the bits that it needs to redact. It's much more efficient. I will give an example in a few seconds about that as well. And automatic feedback. It's very easy for the model when it changes something to use the diagnostic from the server and literally see where this change will have side effects all over the code base. So it's much more faster and token efficient for the server. So how you install it? It's pretty easy in Claude. Actually, it's built in. A lot of people didn't know that. You just go to the /plugin menu, and you go to Discovery, and you type in the search box LSP, and you see all the LSP servers integrations built in. It only built an integration. You still need to have the server installed. Usually with Go, it didn't come out of the box. This is the most code I wrote is in Go for my hobby projects. But for TypeScript, it comes with the TypeScript. If you have installed the TypeScript, you will have the server right in. And it works out of the box. For the open code, it's a bit harder. But you can simply tell the open code, yeah, just install the LSP server, and it say, oh, this is experimental feature. Are you sure you want to enable it? And you say, I will enable it. The funny part with open code is that actually they have in recent versions LSP servers, if they find it installed, and it enabled by default for the diagnostic part. So if they make a change, you can see that open code actually fixes the things much faster than Claude Code when I run it side by side. Because it has already this LSP diagnostic enabled. So for open code, that's what I use mostly at home. I also made a skill that used the CLI for Go. It's called Go Please. This is the name of the LST server for Go. And it has a much more function. And with this skill, I shared in this QR code, and there is a link also. I will share the presentation on my LinkedIn. You can follow. I make a simple skill with the skill builder of Claude Code, I think, for open code. It's a bit messy, but this skill actually gives me these capabilities like, say, rename this service, and it will rename the service, as I said, in all the places in one shot. Same thing without this special skill that use the advanced capabilities of Go server specifically. It will take much more effort, and it's a lot of time, especially in Claude Code. It will also rename the instances of that service, something that I don't want. I want just the service renamed, not the instance variables, because it's wrong, literally wrong. And I have to correct Claude Code to not do that, and it's kind of just ruins the experience. So this gives much more predictable results. And here is the example actually. The first one is with the default LSP server. You can see the green arrow. It used the diagnostics, and when it makes the first change, it see where it will have side effects, and it has even the line numbers where it's undefined, and it will go and fix that right away, much faster than Claude Code. Claude Code is actually doing a multiple iteration, like 4 times it tries to fix it, hit error, tries to fix it, hit error. So like open code is like 4 times more efficient. Then I didn't have the screenshot for that. But when you enable the LSP server with the custom skill, it do it in 100 tokens, much more, like 8 times more efficient, and it's one-shotted, and it's deterministic, no errors. It's like no LLM actually involved in refactoring in this case. Like LLM just calls the CLI for that. So this is for language servers. Hope you will try it. You can use it on pretty much every project, and I greatly advise this tool. This second tool is a bit similar but different because it's more for the Markdown. In recent days, a lot of people start doing spec-driven development, and you end up with thousands of docs. And we have some green projects in our company that a colleague of us is writing spec-driven, and it ended up, like, even it's a small project, it ended up with 160 some files. I have it on the side, the right number. And when I tried on the weekend to kind of comprehend what is this specs of this server do, and I wanted to compare that with the API and do some, like, educate myself with AI what this project is doing, it felt miserably. First, it hit the context window limit of the Claude Code. It was still 200,000 at the time. Next week, they increased it to 1 million, but at that point, it was 200. It hits the limit, and also it shortly, like in a short session, like in 30 minutes, it exhausted all my credits for my subscription, all the tokens for my subscription. So it was not very pleasant experience. So that's why I thought, oh, I have this server installed for my second brain or Obsidian nodes. So can I use that for Markdowns for the specs? So combine that with LSP and get much faster and more deterministic results. So QMD is exactly that too. It's indexed with 4 algorithms by now. It started with 2 algorithms, but now we use 4 algorithms to index all the Markdowns in a specific folder or in projects and creates those collections. And you can refer those collections and get very, very good results because it uses embedded model locally. It's all locally. It uses embedded modeling and ranking model locally. Small models, but very efficient for that. And after the first indexation, it's like milliseconds to get the most relevant nodes from my like nodes in Obsidian, if you know that. It's like nodes to taking club, but it's Markdown and it's linked, so that's why I use it. And then, yeah, pretty much that's what the QMD do and how it can help and why it's useful for harnesses like Claude Code and Open Code. What I do is I use to index all my docs and specs, and it's with a special skill I will share with you, and get most relevant information. And it's much better, way much better than what the Cloud do with the Cloud or Open Code do with find and grep. And usually it's kind of gives up. It kind of finds a few information and it says, oh, it's enough information, and it's usually the crappy one if you have a huge corpus of documents. And it's getting worse as you progress in your project. And it's very efficient for old projects. Like if you build a good documentation for all projects and combine it with some tool like this, you can give much better context even for old projects with this tool and help describe in those documents your technical depth so your harness know what this project is about and don't pollute your Cloud MD files and create a very complex Cloud MD structure or agent MD structure. It depends on the tool. Next thing I found recently, the use case for this is I wrote the specs, I generate the code, and then I go to the code and do small changes. And my specs drift away and are not very and not anymore source of truth. So for that, I use the combination with this tool to analyze my code and analyze my spec in full and fix the docs and make all the specs in sync. Why I use this? For example, I needed to write my own harness without pmono, like bare loops and on my own. And it didn't work well with TypeScript because of the concurrency issues. And I say, okay, extract all the specs and now remake this in Go. And the first version took me three hours. I think the second version took me 30 minutes in Go. Different language, totally, and it worked much better. So it's helped to extract also the code to docs with such tools and make them in sync. Sure. So here is the example for a very popular GitHub repo with a lot of spec. It's a very spec driven and have a lot of documentation. It actually has 474 documents, and it's managed to chunk it in 11,000 files, chunks, in 80 minutes on this Mac. So it's very fast, even on a huge corpus of documentation. And then you get absolutely precise results no harness or model can extract from your docs at that scale. So it's super useful in specific case, not in everybody case, but if you have a lot of docs and we want to combine that and do some advanced